there, everybody. Let's talk about some World Cup. I've got a Group D preview coming up for you here, and that's the USA's group. We'll get to that in just a second. I'm Bruce Marshall. First of all, though, as always, a couple of housekeeping notes. Remember to subscribe to all of our Wager Talk TV videos. Just click that subscribe button on your screen there. Make sure you get all of our Wager Talk TV videos. Also, mentioning the World Cup, my all-access pack for the World Cup, that's all of my picks from the June 11th opener, which is coming up in 2 weeks, all the way through July 19th, the final of the Meadowlands. Just $149. Very nice bargain there for you. And my World Cup all-access pack, just $149. All of my picks through the entire tournament for Copa Mundial. Okay, now let's take a look at Group D. I told you I wanted to talk about this group because I wanted to get to talk about Team USA first. And I'm doing this because I have got some questions about Team USA, in particular about this appointment of Mauricio Pochettino as the head coach. Now, I know they had to move on from Greg Berhalter a couple of years ago, but Pochettino, to me, looks like a vanity hire by U.S. Soccer. I'm not sure he's the right man for the job. Let's go back a bit. Team USA, listen, they are not a newcomer on the World Soccer stage. We hosted the World Cup back in 1994. I went to some matches back then. It spawned MLS. Soccer's been around here for a while. 2002, for those of you who don't remember, that's 24 years ago, almost a quarter of a century now. Team USA got to the quarterfinals of the World Cup that year in Asia, in South Korea and Japan, and made a pretty good fist of it against Germany once in the quarterfinals. Had some chances, only lost 1-0 to a German side that went on to the finals. So we've been here before, but that side that was under Bruce Arena played a much different style than Pochettino's side currently. Arena side was very difficult to play against. It was hard to play through that team because defensively that was their first mission there. Fell back into a low block a lot and made it very difficult to play through them. They would attack on the counter. They didn't have to be that flashy. They were fairly effective, and they got all the way to the quarterfinals. That's totally different than the way Pochettino's got this team playing right now. Speaking of Pochettino, let's talk about his career for a second. Yeah, he had that highlight. He got Tottenham miraculously so back in 2019 into the Champions League final where they lost to Liverpool. He was dismissed from Tottenham the next year, went on to PSG where he was there for a year and a half, pushed out of there, then went to Chelsea. 1 year at Chelsea, 6th place finish, got pushed out of there. Highlights, he did win Liga 1 a couple of times with PSG, but it was a side that was loaded. His first side, they still had Mbappe, they had Neymar. Lionel Messi came for his second season there. They didn't do anything in the Champions League either side. He was pushed out there, pushed out at Chelsea. And now there's rumors that he's looking to go back to Europe after the World Cup is over. Now, it is not unnatural for a coach to be signed just through a major tournament, and he is only signed through the World Cup for Team USA. But there could be distractions there. We're hearing rumors about AC Milan has been in contact with him. They just moved out Max Allegri and everybody else there at the San Siro. So apparently there's a chance that he could end up at AC Milan. There was talk about Tottenham a little bit earlier, but that door is closed now with Roberto De Zerbi avoiding relegation for Spurs. Bournemouth is another job that's open. Apparently that's been mentioned as well. Bottom line is I'm not sure Pochettino isn't getting, going to be some distractions right now. And I'm not sure the way his team plays is the way to do it either. Trying to be very prosaic, trying to play on the front foot, trying to play like Spain or France or England, Portugal. They shouldn't be doing that. And they're going to lose once they come up against one of those better sides if they don't change things. I'm also a little bit disturbed by the friendlies we saw a couple of months ago in Atlanta, Belgium and Portugal. Now, I know USA was missing some players, but so were Belgium and Portugal. Belgium in particular was just walking through the USA defense in the second half. Very easy to play against. Like I said, Portugal, much the same. Now, with that, in the absence of real qualifiers, because USA is a host nation, I thought maybe Pochettino should have taken those matches a little bit more seriously. Now, some of the players, Captain America himself, Christian Pulisic, off of a very difficult season for him in AC Milan. He didn't score a goal in Serie A after the calendar turned to 2026. Had a few injury problems in there as well, but a very disappointing campaign. Weston McKennie at Juventus. Didn't have a big campaign there either. Both AC Milan and Juventus missed out on qualifying for the Champions League. So neither of those two guys had big seasons, and they are key guys for the U.S. side. Now, there are some other options they have with following Balogun coming in from Monaco, where he did score goals for fun. So there are some attacking options there. There's one other question I have, and that's in goal. Freeze looks like he's out there, turning back to Matt Turner, who they sort of went away from. Turner back in here in MLS now. They don't have any goalkeepers who are playing in Europe, so this is the first time an MLS goalkeeper is going to be first string. And Turner maybe past his sell-by date later in his career here. That doesn't look to be a strength. I am totally unconvinced about the USA side right now. Watching them play, inconsistent results, and the group, they should advance. Because as you can see on the crawl at the bottom there, we've got Paraguay and Australia and Turkey. I'm not sure the USA is going to win the group. Now, the first two matches, Paraguay and Australia, we'll talk more about those when we get closer to the actual matches coming up in a couple of weeks. Both those sides have the opportunity to make the USA look a little better than it is, I think, because they are both compact defensive sides and they won't challenge the USA too much. They won't try to play through them as much as Turkey will in the last group game. Turkey is the interesting one here to me. And it's surprising. 15 of the last 16 World Cups, Turkey hasn't qualified for. Now, the one they did back in 2002, the one I mentioned a second ago, where USA got to the quarterfinals, where Turkey got all the way to the third place in 2002 on a side led by Hakan Şükür. I like this Turkey side right now. They impressed in the Euros, where we see them every 4 years at the Euros, it seems. They look pretty good in the Euros 2 years ago. Vincenzo Montella, the Italian coach, he's got some live wires there. They scored 17 goals across their last 6 qualifiers. They also had to go out and beat Kosovo and beat Romania in playoffs to get here, so they're kind of battle-tested. I like Arda Güler, attacking midfielder, 21 years old from Real Madrid, but man, we saw him score 2 goals against Bayern Munich in the second leg of that Champions League tie last month, and he's an exciting component there. They've got a few of those. I mentioned Güler because there's a couple of forecasts here that I think we want to mention. Top scorers for each team. Güler gets a plus 450 price on being the top scorer for Turkey in the World Cup. I think that's one we want to look at. As for the USA, I mentioned Folarin Balogun, plus 350. I like him more than Pulisic right now, or McKennie, or Ricardo Pepi to be the USA's top scorer. So those are 2 top scorers for teams I would watch. Also, to win Group D, I would back Turkey. Plus 175. Sorry. That's who I think is the better team in this group. And I think that's the one who's going to finish on top. I think the USA does go through in second place. But if you get Turkey 1, USA 2, finishes like that, you can also hook that together, get a plus 400 if you can hook Turkey 1 and USA 2. So that's what I'm thinking about Group D. Now, I'll be back talking about more of these group previews, and then we'll get into some actual World Cup match previews coming up when we get later into June. Don't forget, if you have any comments or suggestions, go right there on the screen to the comment box. I'd love to hear from you. And also, one more reminder, don't forget my World Cup All Access Pack, just $149. And remember, matches start on June 11th. Okay, we'll be back later with some more soccer. So until then, it's a goodbye from me.